G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach, providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present my round 16 review. And so we scored 2,660, which is a really good score this week. That gave us a really good round 16 rank. And all in all, we've jumped up 1,500 spots roughly in the ranks. So we're now, our season rank in total now is 3,504. So that's very good, and hopefully we can have a strong run home with good amount of trades left with a finished side. Only a couple of dodgy premiums in the side currently, in my opinion. And so I'd just like to quickly say I do apologise I didn't do a round 16 preview last week. Basically, the trades that I did this week and the captain and vice captain were the exact same that I had in mind for the round 15 review. So I do apologise, but my trades still were bringing in D'Ambrosio and Steele for Ware and Hobbs. So I still did those trades. So let's get straight into it. So this is the current state of the site. Also, by the way, this is the first time I've ever gotten. First time I've ever gone over 2,600, and my highest ever score in SuperCoach. So, pretty proud about that. Let's get into it. Jordan Dawson with 144. Could have been a lot bigger if I watched some of that game. If Dawson didn't get parked into the forward line in that final quarter and a half. So that was a bit disappointing. I don't know why you'd put Jordan Dawson down forward when he's setting up so much of the play. And when you're playing Melbourne, of course, it's going to be a lot of just setting up play. And it's going to be spending a lot of time in Melbourne's forward line and Adelaide's back line. So I don't really get why Dawson went down forward. And that's when Melbourne started to get on a bit of a run with the Crows. So I thought that was pretty bad coaching by Nix. Sicily 139. First, I'm a Hawthorn supporter, and this is the first game this season that I didn't see a second of this of a Hawthorn game. So I won't have much to report on the GWS Hawthorn game. I was at the Richmond West Coast game with a couple of mates, and that was another reason why I didn't do the video last night, is because I was fully hammered. And I was stuffed. So I won't have much to report. Sicily was good apparently though, good to see him bounce back a bit after a couple of pretty average scores from him. Jack Sinclair with 150, just didn't get tagged. And it was just terrific to watch him navigate the play for St Kilda down back, and he's just their main bloke to use down back to set up the play. So that was really good. Hewitt's had a bit of a rough patch as of late, an 87. I don't know what the go is there, but he's just not as noticeable on the field. But he's certainly still a fine option, and he'll be in my side for the rest of the year, unless he gets injured. So it's all good with Hewitt. Crisp with a 79. I think his second bad score for the year, in my opinion. He might have gotten another bad score, but I think he should be fine for the rest of the year. Normally each year he only puts in. Oh, he's had back-to-back poor scores. So hopefully, I kind of forgot about that. So he's had an 80 and then a 79. So hopefully he can bounce back a bit. I will get a little bit more concerned if he has the third week in a row where he has a pretty average score. I watched a bit of the Gold Coast Collingwood game. It just didn't feel like a game that just couldn't find the ball, in my opinion. Just couldn't find himself in the right position to get the ball. So we'll see how we go next week. Next week's a big talking point. We'll see how Crisp goes. Jaden Short, I've had enough of this bloke. I won't lie. He's really starting to piss me off a bit. We all waited. You know what? Let's wait for him to play against West Coast and play all these easy games as, the main midfielder for Richmond. And, it's starting to annoy me now, this Jaden Short pick. If we see both of these blokes struggle a bit, look, I'll probably only have the opportunity to trade out one of them due to my 4 trades left with a fully finished side and extra bit of remaining salary. So if Short keeps this up, I think I'd rather trade Short over Crisp, because Short's role is a little bit worse for him. Like Chris Stroll has been a bit more consistent, although Dacos, I think, has affected Jack Crisp a little bit. So, but I don't see that changing at the minute anytime soon. So, yeah, short, we'll have to keep an eye on. Look, I'm probably not going to trade him maybe until after the North Melbourne game. I would love to bring in Stewart for him when he's come back from suspension. But I don't know, maybe he'll just be out for too long to where I'll have to pull the trigger a bit sooner and go with like a Bailey Dale type. D'Ambrosio, 83, terrific. Yeah, so I replaced him with Ware. Ware's still outscored him, and Ware, I think, in my opinion, still better cover than D'Ambrosio, but I needed the Ware money to do the Hobbs to steal move. So unfortunately, it meant Ware had to go, but D'Ambrosio, I think, can be just a little bit worse than Ware for cover, but still fine. No need to talk about Dirksen. Oliver, 176. We knew his history about Adelaide, and it was just terrific for him to go so well once again. And I actually looked up when the last time I took a VC score this season. And I think that's costed me a bit this season, actually, is my poor choices of captain and vice captain. It's a bit of a luck part of the game, but can't do much about it. So last time I took a VC score was in round 8. And I think it was Jack McRae. I don't know. I don't remember who they played then, but that was the last time I took a vice captain score. So it's good for a change, but I've rarely nailed the vice captain. So it's been a little bit frustrating with that this season. So I think that's certainly one of the main talking points for me heading into next year, just hoping for a bit better luck with the captain and vice captain, well, vice captain especially, because it's such a good loophole if you can nail it, which most people do. Rory Laird with 130. I think he was on 81 points at 3/4 time and nailed. Had a really good end to the game, so really good last quarter. So that was good to see. Jack McRae, 104. Yeah, just not really a bloke you can trust at the minute with captain and vice captain. He's had maybe because of how good we expect McRae to be. It feels like he's had a bit of an underwhelming season from SuperCoach wise. So yeah, I'd consider this from McRae's standards a disappointing season, and maybe the first time in a while that he's not an absolute must start for next season. That'll be an interesting talking point. Lockie Neal, 135. Who did Brisbane play? I'm trying to remember. They played the Gabba, didn't they? Yeah, no, they didn't. No, who on earth did Brisbane? Who did Brisbane play? Oh yeah, they played the Dogs. Yeah. So he was a cheeky vice captain option. Look, you guys might have taken it, and to be fair, I think anyone would. It would have made sense if you took a 135. Just the disappointing part was you knew Oliver was going to go bang against Adelaide, so that's why I listened to JD, and I actually did agree that if you vice captained Oliver, you can actually see, okay, he actually did really well. Oh no, he actually didn't do so well. So you could actually gauge it a bit more with instead of having the tough choice of, do I keep Neil's score? Do I risk on missing out on Oliver where he could score so much more points? So anyway, I agree with JD with what he said there. Tuke Miller, 153. Terrific again against the Pies. I think that's 2 scores this. They've played the Pies twice, Gold Coast, and that's both times. Yep, 160 and 153. So he's got a really good ceiling, Tuke Miller. I wonder how he normally goes against the Tigers. He scored a 153 before. I wouldn't mind chucking the VC on Tuke Miller this week because Richmond's midfield isn't exactly grouse. Andrew Brayshaw, 134. Good once again. He's been a very handy pickup. So, yeah, I'll take that. I watched like the last 10 minutes of the game at the pub. So, Jack Steele, 107. Yep, made the return to Smudwell's Soldiers, and he did a solid job. I still think he's going to be a great cheeky pod to have for the rest of the season compared to other sides. So, good for him to do well. Paddy Cripps, bit disappointing with Paddy Cripps because it feels like he can't just get a good score at the minute. And yeah, he's just slowing up a bit. I just don't know whether he's injured or I feel like ever since Pitternet went down, he's just struggled a bit with not having Pitternet there. I mean, Tom DeConning's a good player, but yeah, I think he's missing a bit of Pitternet in the guts at the minute. So him and Short are two blokes that I would love to trade out. If we can stay a bit carnage free for the rest of the year, I might have the opportunity to upgrade Cripps to someone who I think could outscore him for the rest of the year. I'm just worried Cripps is probably a 95 average for the rest of the year. Jaden Short at the minute's probably a 90 average for the rest of the year. So, yeah, so those two are ones to keep an eye on with future luxury upgrades because they're both highly owned. So I think it would be a massive advantage if I could swap those two around for the last, I don't know, whenever I decide to make the move to swap them to maybe pods that can outscore them. So that might be my way to get a leg up and get a good, have a good strong finish for the rest of the season. Morris Rioli, 29, yeah, didn't really get involved. Owens is still injured, and Angwin's basically as dead as it gets. Wits again, another pretty average score here, 63. So that's 2 scores in the 60s in the last 3 weeks. So a bit disappointing there, but I think it's just a bonus at the minute to have 2 premium rucks that are fully healthy at the minute. So I'm not getting stressed over it. There aren't too many rucks available at the minute in SuperCoach because most of them are injured. So I'll just take 2 healthy rucks at the minute. And Sean Darcy, terrific with 124. Could have done a tad more, but I don't think you can complain with 124 as a score. Bontempelli, 108. I remember it was the big decision where I had to choose between Bont or Liberatore. I think Liberatore's just outscored him for the past 2 weeks in terms of overall points. Not, Libba's outscored him twice. Bont did well last week against the Hawks, but it's still fine. Bont's a good solid selection. I still think he'll outscore Libba for the rest of the year still. Brody with a 96. Yep, fine enough score. We'll take that. Dunkley, 100. You won't get any complaints off me. That's a very solid score once again from Dunkley. Yeah, just terrific to have him in the forward line. Luke Parker, 98. Again, another solid score. So basically my forward line was just filled with very solid scores. Nothing outstanding, but nothing terrible. And McCartan with the 72. Yeah, I thought he had some good moments against Essendon. I wonder if there's not a chance that that D'Ambrosio is better cover than McCartan at this point. I don't know. And Cornelio with 105, solid enough. So I didn't see any of the games, so won't comment much about it. But his output ever since McVeigh's been appointed has just been terrific. Judson Clark was my captain, and English didn't play. So yeah, now I need to think what to talk about now because it's a bit tricky to talk about trades and all that because I don't really know if we pull the trigger this week on Short. Probably not. Definitely not this week on Cripps because they got West Coast. I know West Coast have been a bit better, but still an opportunity for Cripps to just do well there in his hometown. Was in his home state against the Eagles, and the Eagles, of course, still aren't the greatest side in the world. So I still feel pretty confident about Cripps there. And Short, who have they got this week? Gold Coast, but then the following week they got North. If he can't score a ton against North Melbourne, then for 100%, if there's not too much carnage with my side at that point, he is definitely gone. Yeah. But I might hold him for up to about after round 20 because that's when Stewart comes back and I can just swap Short to Stewart. My only problem is he's going to keep on going down in price. And I wonder if it gets to a point to where he actually, he could get to 450K range, and that is just not ideal. So maybe do you pull the trigger this week while he's dropping in price. So That's one to keep an eye on. And honestly, I could see the same thing happening here with Cripps, but not as bad. So I just wouldn't know who to replace Cripps with. I think the easy one this week would be to replace Short with Dale. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So McCartan there. So my vice captain and captain, I'm thinking of Tuke Miller into Lockie Neal. Tuke Miller playing against Richmond, as I've said. Richmond's midfield isn't terrific. They had Tim Kelly just go berserk on them yesterday. So Tuke Miller could do the same thing there. And Lockie Neal scored a 198 earlier this year against the Bombers. So I'm pretty confident on him doing pretty well there. Bit of a safe option as well. He rarely drops in an absolute stinker. So the absolute minimum I'm expecting from him this week is probably 120. He should be able to do well. I think Essendon might be on a bit of a high at the moment. It was a bit like when they beat St Kilda. They were really enjoying that performance, but they might just, drop back quite a bit in terms of performance this week. They're still a young side going through the motions at the minute, Essendon. So I'm pretty confident Neil can run right against them at the Gabba on a Sunday afternoon. And other than that, I think that's my side for this week. Not too much more to cover. Hopefully Rioli can keep his spot, but might be a bit shaky. D'Ambrosio should play for the rest of the year and McCartan. So the only thing I feel like I'm really missing in terms of cover is certainly the midfield. That midfield bench cover is shocking. With Judson Clark probably not getting a game for the rest of the year. Angwin out for another 6 weeks and he won't get a game for the rest of the year. I'm pretty confident on that. The only way is I think if St Kilda drop in form, Owens comes into the side. And I think that's the only way I can get some more cover in the midfield. Otherwise, I might have to trade for someone, but don't know how I feel about that. So, look, that's my side. So let me just flirt with the idea of Jaden Short trades. Now I could go in with Doherty, Dale. I personally prefer Dale at the minute. I don't know why I'm still not feeling like I want to bring in Doherty as my final, as a luxury upgrade for Short. I think he could drop off at some due to the lack of preseason. Apparently Houston got injured. I didn't say that, but let me know in the comments, of course, if you know a bit more about it. But Tom Stewart is the guy I'm eyeing up to bring into the side. So that would be nice and handy when he comes back. And hopefully Short can just hold his own. I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger this week. I'm very happy with the 4 trades. And then Cripps. I mean, imagine my score if I had Petrarca. So, look, let's say I chose Petrarca instead of Brayshaw and I had those extra, 55 points. I'd have scored 2,700 and something. That would have been unreal, but I'm very happy with my score this week, so not much to complain about there. So if we have a look at some of the options, Mills has dropped off a tad, so I think I'd like to see a bit of return in form before I make the big move at some point in the season. I was planning on doing Cripps to Mills at some point this season. I'd like to see a bit more improvement in form though. So I'll ignore that. You've got Keys, you've got Petrarca. Petrarca to Cripps, a cheeky side swap. I don't know. Kelly, I don't trust. Walsh, I think I'd prefer Walsh over Cripps. Petrarca over Cripps, I think, at this point. Anyone else? Look at the minute. I think if I was to trade Cripps this week, it would be to Walsh, I think. But look, I don't think we'll pull the trigger this week with either of them because I don't think we need to, because Short's got North next week, round 18. And Cripps has got West Coast this week, so we'll see how they go. I don't think I'll make any trades this week in terms of luxury upgrades. So I'm now rambling on here. So let's just have a look and see what everyone's doing. See, no one's exactly trading someone out fully. A couple of people are flirting with the idea of trading Short of Cripps, and I don't blame them. Rioli, if he's getting a game each and every week, which I'm hoping for, is midfield cover. It doesn't sound great, but I can't do much else. Then I'm not going to trade him out. McCartan's my defensive and forward cover, so I won't bother with that. Cripps and Judson Clark. No point trading out Judson Clark. He can just be my mid-forward loop. James Tunstall, probably if this was early in the season, we would look to bring him in, but he's just a midfielder in a very good Brisbane line side. Young midfielder in a very good Brisbane line side. So he one bad performance and he could get dropped. Jace Burgoyne, he could be one that's really handy. He's replacing Bonner, I think, who's, I don't know what his injury is, but I know that I think Burgoyne got a gig because Bonner was out. Callum Brown, apparently killed Hawthorn yesterday, so kicked 4 goals. And like, bloody hell, Hawthorn are just really good at making just blokes that we haven't heard much about of just look amazing. So we'll see how he goes in the second week. Could he be like, if he drops in another really good score, and McCartan, let's say, is just looking like another average score again, is there a world where we could just trade for Brown with McCartan? I'm just thinking about that because it would save us a bit of money, and Brown might just be a better scorer for the rest of the year. I don't know. Probably not worth a trade now that I think of it. I don't think trading cover for cover makes much sense at this point in the season. So probably not a trade I'd pursue. Liberatore, yep, that's fair enough. I would love to have him in the forward line, but I just don't know who for. I'm actually very happy with my forward line. And Bailey Dale, I'm sure that's probably for Jaden Short or whatever. So I don't blame you. I think Bailey Dale is a very good option. So yeah, look, I'll just quickly have a look. I feel like this has been a long video, has it? Oh yeah, gee, we're milking this out, this video. Probably shouldn't have been this long, but had a few things to say. Sorry, SDS SuperCoach. We beat Marsfield Demons by, is that 130-ish points? So GG, mate. We'll now have a look at what's the ladder looking like. So I'm now 5th, so I'll take that. Brad looks like he's going to finish top spot, I think. So there's 3 rounds to go in all the leagues. So how am I going in all of my leagues? 5th, 4th, 1st, 12th in DR's league. In every other league, we're looking like we'll make finals other than DR's league. That's looking a bit shaky. What are we? 5 and 9? Yeah, that's probably going to be too hard for us to make finals. But in the rest, we should be fine. So looks like we'll make finals here. But it is a bit packed up until about, probably up until the bottom 4. Like, I guess you could make the case for Kenny upwards to make finals. So it might be a tight ending to the season. So I wonder who we've got next. Who we've got next week. And look, they'll just about do it for me this week. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll just see who we got next week. Got Christian. I wish they told us where like each player is placed. Christian, where are you on the ladder? Oh, he's 2nd. That is a big, big match. If I win that basically guarantees me finals, but it's a big match up this week. So we'll see how we go there with Christian. Anything else I need to talk about? Oh yeah, I'm going to do a second video this week now that there's not a whole heap to talk about with trades and all that. I'm going to do a second video this week, and I'm probably going to rank each of defender, forward, mids, and rucks. I'm going to rank who's going to finish like the top 8 forwards for the rest of the year, top 8 defenders for the rest of the year, top 12 mids, stuff like that. So I'll end it here, guys. I'm busting for a piss, so I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of the week, and I'll see you sometime during this week before we head into round 17. Cheers.